This is Wrestling Hub. My name is John, and you're watching the Wrestling Report for November 15th. Before we get into the rest of the video, make sure you subscribe to Wrestling Hub and turn on all notifications to stay up to date with everything in the world of pro wrestling. Also, don't forget to follow us on Instagram at Wrestling Hub Official, and also follow us on Twitter at Wrestling_Hub. Following their release from WWE in April, many wondered where the Iconics would end up. Now, as the Iinspiration, Cassie Lee and Jessica McKay not only made their Impact Wrestling debut, but won the Knockouts tag belts at Bound for Glory. Speaking on Wrestling Daily, the team explained why they prefer working in Impact for now. For right now, yes, these are incredible companies and other wrestlers and entertainers out there, but for right now, our hearts are with Impact. They've given us this opportunity and we don't want to let them down. We wanted to live off. We have so much more in store for the Iinspiration, and we can't wait to show the world exclusively at Impact. That's our focus right now. That's where our heart is. We're putting all of our time and energy into Impact investing. I've always been thinking about the future, but I honestly mean it when I say I haven't been these past 6 months because I've been so happy with living in the moment, and for the first time in my life, not stressing about what's going to happen 6 months, a year, 2 years, 5 years down the road, and it's been extremely fulfilling for me to do that, and it's great on our mental health. The Iinspiration will take on the Undead Brides in their first match on Impact Wrestling TV. Despite coming up short in his TNT title match and his AEW debut, Eddie Kingston has gone on to become one of the best talkers in the company. On his podcast, Jim Cornette compared Kingston's rise to that of Steve Austin. This is kind of as Thunderbolt Patterson would say, it is a little Austin-ish. It is Austin-ish in the respect that it is a sudden groundswell of support and liking, fondness, admiration of, or identification with, or whatever positive social interaction you may want to. The phrase you may want to use for a guy kind of organically and several things happening right at the same time. To make it even more pronounced now for the people who are going to dump on that when I know I am not saying that is exactly on Austin's level in terms of the business response or what it is going to do for Eddie, this is because they were 8 or 9 or 10 times as many people watching wrestling shows as there are back then as there are now. So it was, obviously easier to multiply, the response and tickets to the pay-per-views, whatever. But it is Austin-ish in terms of it is not necessarily planned this way, and it just started happening and happening naturally. And as I said, several things happen the right way, and this article is not an article, it's a first-person account. At Full Gear, we saw the culmination of Kingston's feud with CM Punk, as we'll have to see what is next for Eddie. After Hangman Page defeated Kenny Omega for the AEW World title at Full Gear, Dave Meltzer has noted on Wrestling Observer Radio that the former champion did not come into the event at his best. I don't know if he has no strength, but he can't lift heavy weights with them. I don't even know if he can lift with them. The last time we were talking about it, he said he was able to lift the bar, so it's 45 pounds. He told me I can work a match without my shoulders. Just prior to Survivor Series in 2018, Becky Lynch was on the receiving end of a stiff shot from Nia Jax, which resulted in Becky having a broken nose. This took her out of her match against Ronda Rousey. Speaking to Vicente Beltran, Lynch talked about being removed from that pay-per-view match, admitting she thought it was the end of her push. I suppose by being diligent, by being consistent, so at the time I genuinely did not know what was going on. I thought this was it, this was over. But then all the other pictures came out and it looked pretty freaking cool, and then people got more interested in it, and I was like, okay, well, we are on to something. And so then just kept going, kept trying to ride the momentum until WrestleMania, and of course you never know if there is going to be another hurdle or if you were going to fall at the last jump, but yeah, we made it there. With Survivor Series coming up on Sunday, it's expected that we will see the SmackDown Women's Champion Charlotte Flair take on the Raw Women's Champion Becky Lynch. ahead of the pay-per-view, and in that same interview, Lynch would admit that storylines involving brand supremacy are outdated, with her saying it could be more interesting if the winners were rewarded in some way. Yeah, that would be helpful. I don't know if, yeah, the old brand supremacy is a little outdated. At the same time, we're all competitors, so you always want to be the best. Whatever it is, whatever carrot they dangle. You always want to be the best, whether it's the winner gets a frickin' banana, it's like, well, I want that frickin' banana. I want to prove that I deserve that banana. You always want to be the best. Whatever the logic is, you can make it work when you are a competitive human, which we all are. You don't get to WWE if you're not competitive. After this match against Flair, Becky is likely set to take on her next challenger, Liv Morgan, as she won a fatal 5-way match to become the #1 contender. Sticking with Becky Lynch, she spoke to Sports Illustrated about why she likes being a heel in WWE. I really like wrestling as a heel. I can do that really well because I'll bump around like a crazy person and I'm not scared to look like an idiot. When it comes to my promo process, a lot of the time, being a babyface is better because I know what I feel strongly about and this is the truth and what I feel is right. When you're a heel, you also have to tell the truth but in a different way. Everyone is the hero of their own story. It's all just a process and I'm enjoying the ride and figuring out the new role and trying to be great at it. AEW star Pillman Jr. has been having a hard time recently with him now having his phone stolen. He tweeted the details on the incident, writing, "Got my phone stolen right out of my pocket last night. Really sucked and I lost a bunch of photos that weren't backed up, but I got a new phone at least. They didn't just steal my phone, but they took away countless memories from my time living in Jacksonville. I got my iPhone when I first moved here and unlike Android, you don't just have unlimited cloud space on Google. I just lost everything in a matter of a couple days. I'm so empty. I don't know what to do. I lost my phone, I lost my girlfriend, I almost lost my dog, and now I have no memories or photos to look back on and reminisce. Over a year of pictures completely gone. My whole time here in Jacksonville feels like it's been erased from my life." This has obviously been a rough patch for Pillman as we wish him the best going forward. Since its inception, AEW has brought in amazing talent from independent promotions as well as WWE. Big former WWE stars like CM Punk, Bryan Danielson, and Adam Cole have recently made the jump to AEW. FTR spoke to TSN as Dax Harwood had this to say about fans being upset over the promotion hiring ex-WWE talent. "There are a lot of fans, and it boggles my mind, who are upset by this. They're upset by seeing a lot of former WWE talent in AEW. They've got to understand AEW cannot just hire independent wrestlers, because if they only hire independent wrestlers for a TV product, it's almost like the blind leading the blind. You have to have people who are experienced in TV wrestling because it's a completely different beast from just pro wrestling." Cash Wheeler shared the same sentiment as he noted, "So the company gets better by signing these people, and I hate when people call them ex-WWE this or ex-WWE that because yeah, we've worked there. We've all worked there at some point. But that doesn't make us their property or like we didn't learn these things sometime before that." Also, AEW is given pro wrestlers another big time option in the United States in terms of promotions, as there are likely to be more former WWE stars that make their way over. During the post-show media scrum for Full Gear, CM Punk was asked if anything shocked him about AEW. As Punk mentioned, he doesn't like everything on programming. "Man, I don't know if anything was a big surprise except just maybe how consistent we are. I have opinions just like the fans do. Not everybody's gonna love me or what I do. I don't necessarily have to like everything on the TV show, but that's the whole point. We're not giving you one thing for 2 hours or 3 hours. We're giving you a variety of different things, and I think everybody who loves pro wrestling can find something that they love about the show. To me, that's the most. I don't even think it's really surprising. It's just a breath of fresh air." Despite her issues with Becky Lynch, Charlotte Flair sat down with Metro UK to talk about her fellow 4 horsewomen Bayley, Sasha Banks, and Becky, with her saying, "It's an unspoken bond. Our careers have all taken different turns and ended up in different spots in different times. The level of respect is always there no matter what. You just don't, maybe we should talk about it more. We all know how we feel about each other, what we did and what it took, and how hard we worked to get where we are." Flair then touched on her current feud with Sasha Banks on SmackDown. "I know this is so corny, but iron sharpens iron. Sasha and I just have this crazy chemistry. From the moment we locked up, actually it was FCW at the time, which turned into NXT, it was undeniable. To circle back around, because I tell her all the time, I can't even watch our matches from 3 or 4 years ago. They're terrible. I didn't even know what I was doing. They're so bad. And then to come full circle and face her again and have the experience that I have in both of us as performers, I'm looking forward to seeing what we're capable of doing on TV. One person called out during this time was Ring of Honor star Jay Lethal, who recently made his AEW debut at Full Gear. This has caused the accusations against Lethal to resurface. Taylor Hendricks alleged that she turned down advances from Lethal, which she said caused her to lose a push in Ring of Honor. Many fans have taken to Twitter to discuss this. As one fan noted, Hendricks hasn't been booked or signed by any major promotion since speaking out about her abuse and harassment in ROH. Yet the abuser, Jay Lethal, is now signed to AEW. It says a lot about them in the wrestling world altogether. Hendricks was Lethal's valet in Ring of Honor, as she said that because she did not sleep with Jay, she was taken off TV. Top Dolla's recent rap diss track posted over the weekend about Jinder Mahal and Shanky has been deleted. It got some negative feedback from fans due to the lyrics, as the Hit Row star addressed why he created and removed that song. When Jinder and Shanky made jokes about the culture and turned their hat backwards and beatboxed all the things that were making fun of my culture, I literally laughed, and they know that. I responded with a track doing the same thing in fun with the point of entertainment. Y'all in an uproar about a track that Jinder himself knew was coming. I'm over y'all flooding mentions, so I deleted it. The whole point of this was for us to have a good time with what we're doing. If you think I was insensitive, I just hope you have the same energy for my culture. This was in response to Mahal and Shanky beatboxing on SmackDown, as we'll have to see where this feud goes from here. And this was your pro wrestling news update. I hope you're all having a great day. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you later.